The presenting sponsor of Real VC is iGUIDE. Fast and accurate 3D tours. Find out more information at upmarket.media/iGUIDE. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Real VC, a podcast all about Ventura County real estate. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. Katie Connolly, realtor, Coldwell banker. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Back again.
Back again. I love it. My favorite place to be.
Yeah, and we're running low on mics now because we have a couple guests. So Molly is producing, Molly Peart, but she's off mic today. So no witty asides from Molly today. So, but we are excited because we do have,
not one,
but we have
two special guests.
Two guys from Y Realty. Why it's called that, I don't know, but it's Y Realty. We got Sam Benner and Tristan Ahumada from Y Realty.
Yes.
Welcome,
Great to be here, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so here's the thing. You guys now are, you're off, you're doing like classes and workshops and stuff on AI, right? So in how AI is impacting real estate. So like what right now is the biggest thing that you're thinking about in terms of, what's going on with AI in real estate?
Tristan, I'm going to let you go with that one.
Tristan was pondering.
I'm going to let you get started with that one. He's the guy.
Let me just go back to where we all wanted AI to be when we first heard about it.
Okay.
And that's, I wanted to say something to it and then go and do it. And then once it's done, I wanted it to come back to me and say, look what I built. Look, are you proud of me? And we're just about there because we saw about the last month or so, there's this company that came out that was called Clawbot. And it made a big deal. Everybody was buying these Mac minis and they were selling out because you couldn't host the program on your own computer because it didn't have any guardrails. You could just tell it to do things and it would create a voice on its own. It would create its own email. It just go crazy.
Okay.
So Perplexity and Claude and ChatGPT were all paying attention. ChatGPT said, that's awesome. Let me go bring in the guy that created this. So they got him.
Okay.
Claude's like, ooh, that's good. Let me create something along those lines. We'll call it Co-work. You could download it on your Mac. That's okay. And then Perplexity said, let me one-up you. We're going to do the exact same thing Clawbot did and call it Perplexity Computer.
Okay.
And so where we're at now, we're about 6 months away from getting that thing that I wanted from the very beginning, which is, AI, do stuff and come back to me when you're done.
Okay.
Because Perplexity Computer I can say, and I've already done this, so I could say, hey, pull up, because we just opened in Wisconsin as well.
Okay.
Pull up the top 20 agents. I want you to look them up online. I want you to create a specific message for them. I want you to email them. Once they email back, I want you to create the email that's going to go back to them, respond to them for me, and then line them up in my calendar so that I can call them if they say yes.
Okay.
And when you're done, let me know. And then all it said to me was like, which email do you want to use?
Holy moly.
And I said, oh, that's pretty awesome.
So you can see Tristan's on like another level with this for sure.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is bring this idea of how AI can be used as leverage, not replacing the agent. I think the biggest fear for a lot of us, because with Zillow and all these big companies now kind of partnering together and creating these like one-stop shop transaction systems, where's the realtor's place in that? And so it's actually allowed us to, as a solo agent or as a team, to be able to compete in the content marketing, search engine optimization, social media game in a way that before would be impossible.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the biggest question as we're coming into this AI era of, when we have our businesses, and I know that as a real estate media content creator, is like, how do we make sure that we are not replaced by AI, that we use AI as leverage to, to enhance our business?
I think the big question is, how many real estate agents will there be 7 years from now?
Yeah.
There'll be less because a lot of real estate agents just do the bare minimum or below to get anything done.
Yeah.
Because if I'm looking at Perplexity Computer and saying, hey, Perplexity Computer, put my listing up on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, everywhere that a real estate agent does. Here are the pictures that I hired a photographer to do. Make a website, a landing page, and then every time somebody has any information, send them in my email, make the email to respond back to them and put them on a showing on my calendar, right? That's really close to happening.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing that differentiates the great agents is that we understand that there's a whole emotional piece to this. And that's where our value is. We become more of the advisor, like you've been hearing for years. We become the advisor to this long-term process and are involved, like any great agent is, involved through this whole process of the lifetime of the person you're helping. House, first house, second house, kids, and Tristan, I need a plumber. It's 11 at night, right? Oh, shit, are we allowed to curse here?
Do whatever you want.
Shit, I have a leak, right? Tristan, I want to be the first person they reach out to, right? I don't want them to have to go to AI and be like, who should I use, right? Which is happening. ChatGPT is now the 5th most visited website in the world, which is nuts.
That's crazy.
Right? And Gemini is the 16th most visited website in the world. And it's catching up. Number 1 is Google, number 2 is YouTube, number 3 is Facebook, and then Instagram.
Yeah.
So it just tells you where we're at.
So does your Perplexity Computer like go through your data or your emails or just kind of know you so it responds in a way that
Great
would be more
question.
like you?
So it can go through any data you want. So you can upload your data. You can say, hey, do me a favor, Perplexity, because it also has a browser and it's called Comet. Say, hey, open up Follow Up Boss and go through the first 10 last visited clients on my website and start dialing them. And then it just dials them on your computer. Or, hey, do me a favor, text each one of those. And I think the key to this is also, hey, by the way, open up a Google Doc, and you know that article that that I have on my previous tab from the Wall Street Journal on how more homeowners are now refinancing? Grab that and summarize it, make me an article, and then post it up to my Substack. Can you do that? Yeah. And then that's what it currently can do.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think what we need to start doing is taking a look at the possibilities and saying, how can we use these as a middle, instead of being the middleman? This is in the middle for us, meaning we go to AI first. How can we enhance everything and then show up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know I hate spending time like just like this on my phone all the time, and looking down and getting rid of that piece would be amazing. You know, all these not mindless tasks because it's in my mind and I think I'm a smart person, but things that could be kind of
Yeah, I
just
mean, I think in any
done.
business, right, there's
Yeah.
things that are more that could be automated or,
Yeah.
you know, it's systematized in a different way. I think what we, you know, ultimately what we run the risk, and I think where the advantage is for any of us, if you're a real estate agent or a real estate media person, is making sure we're authentic, right? Because I think as we see more AI and less on that back end stuff of how are we automating these systems, but as we're seeing all this generative AI stuff, and there's a lot of realtors using generative AI done, you know, these crazy, you know, video tours that, you know, start in outer space, go through 5 buildings and then come, and you're like, oh, it's flashy, but I actually don't think it does anything. I think there's no authenticity there. And I know even on those tasks, like you're saying, you know, I have a couple podcasts and, you know, the email address gets associated with it. And I see the emails every single day. I'm getting 4 or 5 pitches about, you know, to have a guest on or to have, hey, have you thought of this SEO? And they're clearly written by AI. And it's just, it's all garbage. I'm never, ever, ever going to respond to one of those. So you can have these things automate these tasks, but to what end? You know, how many things, then it becomes spam and no one is going to respond to it. So I think the trick is, how do we make it so that is it the AI really generating our voice, or is it like, how are we able to use AI to then put ourselves in a position to use our voice to talk to our clients, to talk to the people that
the key becomes a human in the middle. That's what they call it. And if you maintain the human in the middle and in the mix of everything, then you have the maximum output. And that's where we want to go. Because there was a study done, I don't remember what hotel conglomerate did this, but as they were trying to scale and grow, they were thinking, well, why do we need the busboy in the front welcoming people,
Mhm.
right? Let's get rid of that dude. What they saw over a long-term study of this is that that dude would actually be the one that would make everybody feel welcome,
Right.
and
Mhm.
they would have a connection to the experience of the hotel. So I
Right.
think what we're heading into is this extreme version of everything is AI. Let's go more virtual. Let's go into COVID even more. But what people really want is they just want to connect in person, and they want to
Mhm.
go to the office. They want to talk to you. Look what's happening with Gen Z. Gen Z is now populating to malls, and that's their hangout spot. That's like Gen X stuff, bro.
I know.
Mhm.
And they're
Like,
getting
Thank God the malls are
my
back.
17-year-old is deleting her Instagram.
I know.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
they're
she's like
they're burned out.
not
They
doing
burned out
it.
it. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
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 It's interesting. Yeah. And I
It
think
is.
just the important part is too, is, some of the stuff that we are automating is the stuff that where it's really coming from us, the agent.
Mhm.
It's so important to have your voice be there, like Reed's saying, but also that frees up the time so that we can be in more living rooms. We can host
Mhm.
more community events. We
I
can
was just
spend
gonna
more
say that,
time
yeah.
together with our clients and our people, so those relationships deepen. Versus, I think the way people are using AI actually is creating more distance,
Mhm.
rather
Yeah.
than bringing us closer together.
Yeah, every time I see AI generative content, I'm like, oh, I'm
Off
just,
next.
yeah. Within that, so what, like right now, how do you think agents are using AI, and what is the most
Mm.
effective way that they are using it right now? So you're saying, oh, this is going to be in 6 months. We're going to be able to do that. Well, 6 months is in 6 months. What's going on
Well, we're
right
doing everything
today?
I told you now.
Yeah.
So in 6 months, if we want to go there, I have a full AI admin because it's already there. It's just missing one piece at the end, and that's the loop. I have to add other pieces to loop it. So 6 months from now, Perplexity, Claude, when it goes mainstream, ChatGPT can have a full-on admin. But for now, I think the challenge is that agents don't know how to use it.
Right.
Mhm.
They go there and then they're treating it like Google.
Mhm.
And I think there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like you're missing the whole point of why you have AI,
Hmm.
which is it needs to make your life better. It
Yeah.
needs to make your business better. And where do
Yeah.
we start with it? I think you start just making a habit into using it into everything that you're doing, whether it's I'm about to go in here. Well, I need to understand who you guys are and what you guys do. Can you give me a summary of who these people are? Right. And have it ready for me in the morning.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And this is going to be my topic. How do you think it fits better into that audience? So if I'm doing a listing presentation, the same thing. Tell me a history of this house. Go into Zillow. How many times has this been sold? While you're making breakfast or while you're actually sitting down with your kids in the morning, it's working in the background. That's
Yeah.
how we need to use it.
Yeah. I think for the most part, agents are using it to write listing
I was just
descriptions.
gonna say that too.
You
That
know,
too.
it's that's about it. And then again, that's again where the voice could obviously be missing and feel
Mhm.
very automated. But I think there's a pretty large gap with getting to that level that Tristan's talking about, which actually kind of creating a system and creating a process underneath
Mhm.
you that again allows you to be more present. But it's there. The gap is definitely there, and I think we had a workshop a couple weeks ago. It was very well attended, and it was really cool seeing their faces light up, going like, "Okay, I didn't even really think I could use AI in that fashion."
Mhm.
Being able to be in the driveway before a listing presentation and learn everything that you can about the sellers
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
property before you go in.
Mhm.
I mean, that's an incredible advantage that you could have right off the
Right.
bat.
Well, and I think, what's your level of trust with it, right? Because a lot of the things that I see are, are people screenshotting the ridiculous results that ChatGPT or Claude or someone
Mhm.
have given them. And there was just a news article about someone used it for their legal brief, and then it just invented 5 court cases that didn't even exist,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
they use that as a citation in their court. So, and especially when we're dealing with
Mhm.
real estate, right now, these giant transactions that are highly regulated. And if all
Mhm.
of a sudden you're putting out false information the AI has just generated out of thin air, I can see a path where there could be a lot of trouble in that. And I think about that a lot in our real estate media, right? This transparency that we need to have. We are showing the actual property. And there's these cool things you can do, right? Which you look at it like we have our drone shot that comes into the house, and we can change that we shot in the daytime to a nighttime shot, right?
Mhm.
And so we had that kind of zoom in. And then when it transitioned back from night to day, I kind of froze the frames and realized, oh, to make it a better night shot, AI just invented a pendulum light over the
Mm.
front door. And as soon as it turned to day, that light just disappeared. And so you're like, well, we cannot use that. You
Mhm.
cannot put that on the
Right.
MLS.
Right.
We cannot,
Right.
you know, and I think realtors, even if they're just putting it to Instagram, they really need to be careful about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you are opening I personally think you are opening yourself up to major, major lawsuits.
We
If
had,
you're not.
yeah, I was in, because I do nerdy stuff on the other side, like contracts and legal and licensing and all that kind of stuff. And there's some truth in advertising stuff with exactly what you're talking about. So not only is it like a violation, a realtor violation on an MLS violation or whatever, but if you know, have a wall that's blue when really it's pink, you may
Yeah.
be responsible
Well,
to show it as a
there was a
sell
there
it as
was,
a pink wall.
right, and there was a law that just went into effect this year, AB
Mhm.
723, where it really affects this truth in advertising stuff. And so
Big
now
time.
when we do virtual staging, which is I think pretty common now,
Yeah.
and even when we do the day to night twilight, so basically we can take a daytime photo and turn it into a twilight photo,
Right.
Now those from us, they have to be watermarked. And so you have to put a watermark that then will show on the MLS that says, you know, virtually staged or
Mhm.
or AI content, you know, whatever it needs to say. And then the agent needs to make sure that they upload as well the unedited version of that photo.
Right.
And so there's ways to do it where you can, if you have a website, you can just have a QR code that takes you to see the original. So this doesn't have to necessarily live right next to the other, but it has to be obvious. And so you're risking fines and, you know, legal action from the California government if you're not doing that. And
Yeah.
so
Not everybody's being very compliant right now, Reed.
No.
the thing is we take it very seriously and we are compliant,
Right.
but we've had a pushback. We had one agent, we supplied those watermark things. And they said, well, I need the unwatermark because our MLS won't let us upload it. And I'm like, well, that's on you. I mean,
Yeah.
we provided it, our hands are clean, but and that's the problem is there's just a patchwork of stuff and not everyone knows what the law is.
Yeah. And from and just, it's just important not to just prompt and post,
Mhm.
really review what the AI puts out, edit it, make sure that it's going to be compliant. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they just throw it into ChatGPT, they just copy it and dump it in. They don't even read it or look at it.
Yeah.
And that's, same thing with these virtual tours. They're not taking a moment. Said, wow, my house isn't that close to the moon. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's the thing. We work so hard on all the photos, and I think a lot of agents do, oh, great, they're here. I upload them. They don't even look at them, right? And
Yeah.
so, and that's the benefit. Like, you hopefully, we're going to provide, they know we provide good photos. They don't need to
For
look at
sure.
them now.
Interesting.
For
man.
sure.
That's what I was going to say, just touching on what Sam said. I feel like most agents just use AI for their listing descriptions.
Mhm.
And they're so wacky because they'll be like 4-bedroom, 3-bath, look at the pictures, and it's the super generic. And then so when I've coached people on that, it's like, no, make sure that it's fair housing compliant. Make sure you put state of California fair housing requirements, that you put those in there. So
Right.
same with photos. When you do that kind of stuff with photos, you can say, make sure it's truth in advertising compliant. Make sure it's AB 7, one more time.
Yeah.
AB 723 compliant. Maybe there's a disclaimer at the bottom that says this was digitally altered using AI at the bottom of your flyer or whatever.
And here's the other thing that is really getting lost in this too, is that basically whether it's our company or another company you're using for your listing media, we hold the copyright to those images. And in fact, it is against the terms of service of every single real estate media provider to manipulate those images. So if you, and I know you guys are getting pitched on, hey, turn your photos into a full motion video. Well, there's a lot of problems with that. First and foremost, you're violating copyright and actually could, if we were choose to prosecute, which of course we're not going to prosecute our clients, but
depending on who it is.
Yeah, you're leaving yourself open again to legal action. And then, of course, the other element of that is a lot of times you're inventing stuff. Like I just talked in that example, if you're taking a photo and all of a sudden you turn it into a video and it spins around the thing, well, it can't see what's behind that couch. It doesn't know.
Right.
It has a pretty good idea and it probably looks pretty good, but maybe there was a hole in the wall. And you're going to open yourself up to liability because it's again the truth in advertising.
A lot of them just they put in the Zillow link. They're not even uploading the the actual photos. They're scraping it from Zillow. It's
Right.
just, I'm like, this is
Well,
not
and
good.
there's a whole other thing. I mean, Zillow scrapes from the MLS. Is that
Well, of
against our
course,
terms of
we're
service
scraping
as
from each
well?
other.
You know,
You
don't get me
scrape
started.
my
Don't
back,
get me
I'll
st-
scrape yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't get me started on that.
But
yeah.
back, I mean, back to the human experience, imagine, or consumer experience, imagine how upset somebody would be if they came in from out of town, if they sat in traffic from Burbank to Ventura,
You
and
thinking,
they
yeah.
get to this
Mhm.
house and they're like, wait, the pictures had grass. There's no grass here.
Yeah.
Like there's,
It happens
there's
more than
all
we
this.
realize. I
Yeah.
really
And
think there's a lot of
then,
disappointment out there.
they're so excited. Buying a house is so exciting. And then you see it and you're like, this is what I drove out here for. This is $900,000. This is not what I wanted to do on a
Mm.
Sunday.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that goes back to something that we've tried to do from the very beginning, way before AI or a lot of these digital modifications you can do, is when we're shooting a property, I mean, we can make it, you want to make it look bigger? Sure, we can do that. We can use a trick with the lens, we can do whatever. But we always have had a mantra of, we want to show the house as it is, but in the best possible light we can,
Right.
but to show the house as it is. Because the second, and this is the biggest thing and why we always need to be authentic and honest, is the second someone walks in and feels deceived, it's done. And they
Mhm.
will not trust you ever again.
Yeah.
And,
That's true.
and so therefore, it's like when we've all gone to that hotel where you're like, oh, they got a pool, because you saw the photo and you get there and it's like a postage stamp size pool, right?
Yeah.
But when you do that with a home,
That's
it
true.
creates a distrust with the realtor immediately.
Yeah.
And so you
Mm.
really need to be careful of that.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even back to what Tristan was saying, by Googling a plumber or, using AI to find the best plumber in town. One of my clients did that for a random vendor, maybe like a window person. And it was some company out in LA. They can't be here for another 6 days. And I
Mm.
was like, bro, why didn't you just call me? I would
Mhm.
have shared the contact with you in 1 second. So it's paying for advertising. It's who's gonna come up in those searches
Very true.
may not
Right.
be, who you really want in your house.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, but you can use that to your advantage. And Sam, I know you have a story about ChatGPT getting you a client.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Yeah.
It, as I say, it does work. And I think it was kind of a combination of all the stuff that I have done, appearing on great podcasts, writing blogs, and all these things happening, working together to be a local authority. So I just had my 7th deal cancel last year on the floor, fetal, position. And my phone rings and it says Amazon Alexa in the caller ID. And I was just like, that's okay, great. Another spam call. Super awesome. Pick it up. Hi.
I love that you pick up the spam.
I
do.
know,
Yeah,
and I would not have picked
My
it
deal
up.
canceled. I have time.
You
know?
Sam is just your.
I needed this. I needed the human contact.
Yeah.
And so they pick it up. Hi, this is Jackie. We're all sitting around in my living room with my kids. We have a house in Montalvo that we wanna list, and would you be interested in listing it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I would.
In fact, I would. Yeah.
And so booked the listing appointment. And at the end of the call, I was like, I'm super curious. When you guys called me, it said Amazon Alexa. She said, yeah. We asked Alexa, a good realtor in Ventura, to list our house.
That's great.
And
That's
the
awesome.
device called you. So we're talking to you on our Echo Dot or whatever. I mean, it just blew me
That's
away.
so
And I was
cool.
just like, oh my God, it's working. It's happening. But
Mhm.
it's true, if we don't have enough of a presence out there to be that local authority, of our own as agents, there's a huge part of the search out there. Like you said, ChatGPT is the 5th largest website.
Mhm.
If you don't show up in the ChatGPT answers, you're not
Right.
showing up.
No.
And so yeah, it's an interesting thing to actually see it and have it happen in our little town of Ventura. But it's important to have that ability to market yourself and understand how to create the content that you need to do to get out there and be visible.
And I don't know that AI created content is going to do that for you, though. You know
Correct.
what I mean?
Yes, I think it was a combination of, again, all the stuff that I've done over all these years coming up. But it is that there's different authority sites that you have to be a part of.
Well, and part of it isn't it, as we're, kind of ranking people and how the algorithms see things, is that if you are putting things out there, and especially if it's on social media, engagement is more important than anything. And if you are just putting AI generated content out there that it doesn't speak to people, that is not authentic, no one's going to engage with it. And so therefore it's not even going to show up as much.
And it's funny because the AI that's actually doing this is looking for more human,
Yeah, right.
looking for more authenticity.
Yeah.
And so they're actually able to decipher, oh, I generated this article with some other Yahoo 2 days ago. So I know it's BS.
Right.
Versus something that actually was written and created or produced by a real person.
It might have been you, Tristan, that said this one time when I saw you speak, but doesn't it it learns it, meaning AI, it learns who you are and all this stuff. So it was somebody that said, if I put in, tell me the best realtor in Ventura County, and I've done my bio in there, I've asked about houses, it's immediately going to say Katie Connolly.
You're going to be one
But
of
then
them.
when you
Yeah.
ask, it's going to say you, and when you ask, it's going to say
Right.
you,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's kind of a people pleaser or a
Sure.
consumer, because we're it's consumer, a consumer pleaser as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. You can actually tell it to be harder on you.
Oh, I
You
would do
know,
that.
you can set it to be
Mm.
much more like, again, not great idea, Katie. Gosh, I mean, you're just a genius. A lot of it's kind of set to be
Mhm.
super
Don't do
kind
that.
to you, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's incredible when you're able to play with some of those settings. But
Mhm.
it's true, it's going to tend to be much more complimentary.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Katie, you know this podcast is sponsored by iGUIDE.
I think that fits in exactly on what we were talking about today.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, they're not using AI; they are using actual, data. Or they're not generating data; they're generating floor plans and 3D tours. When we bring the iGUIDE camera in and do one of those, so it is fast, accurate, a great option for 3D tours that can be shown on any website, including Zillow, including Homes.com, including the MLS. We love iGUIDE so much, and we're so excited because iGUIDE has recently rolled out site plans. So now, if you do a 3D tour on your property, we can add for a small fee a site plan. So that way, your buyers can get or your seller, you can have on the listing what that dang yard looks like in a floor plan form.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, everyone loves.
And
a
it's
site plan.
accurate and authentic.
Accurate and authentic. So for more information, go to upmarket.media/iGUIDE. You can check it out. Thank you, iGUIDE.
Thank you. My fear is I know a lot of these super sharp younger agents, not that we're not sharp, but they're relying really
not
heavily
young.
on virtual assistants and like overseas assistants, and then which is going to probably move to AI. I'm worried about contract writing. If you can just say, hey, I want to
Oh.
offer 980, I want 30-day contingency, and they just shoot it out. Like that's kind of I don't
I
feel
would be very
comfortable with that.
worried about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know of some agents that are doing that now
Yeah.
with virtual agents, not AI, but they're doing it with virtual agents that aren't in the country.
Yep.
I mean,
And
I
they're
know
not
that
licensed
that's,
realtors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Well,
I mean, I
there's
think that's
a-
already going on.
it is.
It is going on. There's actually there's a company called BrokerBot, and they have their own E&O as a broker bot, and they built other tech for the real estate industry, so they're old school, and they're doing it well. Where let's say you want to do it for Ventura, you want a little
Mm.
broker bot for Ventura for your brokerage. Well, what they do is they set it up for you. They get all the local laws, all the local contracts, all the state contracts, and they create parameters. And then you can upload a contract and you can say, hey, did I do this right? Right. And it'll
Mhm.
verify that it's done well based on the parameters it's uploaded.
Mhm.
So as we get to this next level of AI, I'm going to trust computers to do that more accurately than a human.
But then what happens when your client calls you and says, "Hey," and you're driving here, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Hey, what is on page 7 3G3 mean?"
Yeah, first I'll be like, "Let me get to the office, I'll call you back."
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we have to start deciding how we're going to work with AI,
Mhm.
because we have a few people out there that anytime we post anything AI related, like this is how you use it, they're just like, "Nope, it's gonna eat us, it's gonna take care of it's gonna kill us all." It's blah, blah, blah.
Terminator 2.
I'm like, you
Judgment
know
Day.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
some of it that is bad. And if you're using it like the idiot who just got it and then just threw it out there, that's like the worst example of how you can use AI.
Yep.
You can't do that shit because then it makes us look bad on using AI.
Mhm.
So I think we've got to learn how to use AI, just like I learned how to door knock,
Mhm.
just like I learned how to use Lofty as my CRM, or maybe some agents didn't, right?
Yeah.
Just how I learned how to use DocuSign and WinForms, same thing.
So right now, I mean, as we're sitting here in like late March of 2026, what is the AI tool that a realtor should be using right now? Should be trying right now? If you had to pick, each of you
Ooh.
had to pick one.
Well, definitely you're going to have to use one of the big five,
Mm-hmm.
meaning ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, or Grok. And I would suggest you probably have to use two of those.
Okay.
So ChatGPT has images, Claude doesn't, but Claude gives the output written way better,
Mhm.
right? And so Gemini is connected to Google
Yeah.
Docs, Gmail. It's amazing, right? And it has Nano Banana too for images.
Mhm.
You have Perplexity. Perplexity Computer is insane. Nothing right now is better than that. So it operates.
It's not cheap though.
It's not cheap. It's $200 a month, but it only gives you 10,000 tokens, which you'll run out pretty quickly.
I would say if you're trying to narrow it down, I think Claude is the best,
Okay.
just because
Same.
I think it
I use
does
Claude.
have its ability to write and also summarize things. I think is the best out of all of them. I know a lot of us are using the AI generated images and videos, and Claude isn't as good as that. Claude's also great for creating landing pages, marketing pieces, things like that, which I think for a real estate agent, that's most of what we're going to be handling in our wheelhouse, and we'll let you guys take care of the
True.
images.
Mhm.
But I do tend to use Gemini as well for other stuff, just because it is connected to Google, and I use Google for email and all that kind of stuff. So I would say if you're going to narrow it down to two, I would say Claude and Gemini are the best.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a more bespoke, like real estate specific thing that?
Yeah, there are quite a few, man. I think the one that I'm thinking about is probably Rejig, REJIG.
How they name these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Rejig. Obviously, not a real estate person named it.
Yeah.
No.
It was an engineer.
No.
But
Total engineer.
what Rejig does is it simplified social media for us so that you could have it search for you daily, but you could grab an article, throw it in there, and then it could create an image for you. And if you've already uploaded your likeness, a short video of you, or audio, it uses HeyGen, and it uses 11 Labs, and then it gives you an AI version of you.
Mhm.
And then it reads the transcript off of the image or video in the background. So you could tell it's AI a little bit, but some of the videos that I've seen have gone viral because it's reporting local information, things to
Yeah.
do in Ventura. Do you know about this?
Mhm.
So that one's actually pretty good. I've been liking that one a lot.
Then what's the homeowner AI one where you can put your
Oh, that's a cool one.
sellers in there or your home buyers in there, and it'll like kind of automate, like, hey, you should probably be, cleaning your gutters out.
Yeah, that one's really
service the
good.
furnace.
Homeowner AI is really good as well.
That's a good
Mhm.
one.
It uses a lot of information on the back end based on what the homeowner is doing, their credit, their things that they're buying, kind of like what they're shopping on Amazon,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know. But then it nudges the real estate agent and it says, hey, not only that information based on what we're seeing, you should probably reach out to them. But they also just reached out to one of your vendors, the plumber, because it's in your system.
Mhm.
Hey, they're looking to see what their equity's worth because we send them their equity. Oh, you know what? They just uploaded a new document for their refrigerator because it keeps all their documents on there too.
Mhm.
So that one's very interesting.
Our biggest gap, I think, to communicate with is after you help somebody buy a home to when they're going to list it. That 7 to 10 year window.
Right.
That's where we tend to stay out of touch with them. So this system
Right.
allows you to be more
Right.
prominent
That's
in
that's
their
why you
lives.
send your monthly recipe.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
the recipe
yeah,
card.
yeah,
But
Cookies.
to
Forgot about
touch
that.
on that.
That's
Yeah.
monthlyrecipe.ai.
Yeah. But I heard somebody speak that what they do is they take a picture of the furnace every time they sell a house, and they have it auto set up to just send air filters from their Amazon to
There
the
you
home
go.
buyer
There you
every
go.
year or 6 months whenever they're supposed to be changed.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh my God, Sam's amazing. Like he just sends us these $9 air filter. But people don't want to
That's a cool
buy
little thing,
those.
bud.
Yeah.
Stays in
But
touch.
it's a cool
Stays in
little
touch.
drip, and it keeps you healthy and on top of mind, all that good stuff.
That's right. That's
Wow.
right.
Before we go, where can we find you guys online?
Go ahead, Tristan. You start.
yrealtyinc.com. You can just check us out there, or you can find us on Instagram, Sam
At Sam Benner.
at Sam
Yeah.
Benner,
Super easy.
and me, Tristan.ahumada on any social.
And Katie.
Katie.connolly.realtor. It's super easy. And where can we find you, Reed?
Oh, upmarket.media on
Love
all
it.
social media is where our company is, and I'm Tall Reed Fish.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not Tall. No, I'm Reed Fish LYSM. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
my actual one. Follow me there.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. You are tall. So
I am. Yeah. Yeah. So, and thanks for being here. And thank you to, of course, to everyone who's watching, listening. Our next episode is actually going to be full AI. So this will be the last time you see us all.
It's been a good run.
Yeah.
Episode 27.
Yeah. But we'll be back next week with with a new episode. So thank you, everybody.
Appreciate being here.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Real VC is a production of Upmarket Media. This episode was produced by Molly Peart and edited by Tessa Nelson. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.